Good afternoon, Bermuda. With me today is Mr. Dean Rubain. He's a representative of the Disaster Risk Reduction Management Team. This has undoubtedly been an incredibly busy hurricane season. With back-to-back storms last week, I can truly appreciate that our residents are feeling hurricane weary. But now is not the time to become complacent. Our island has a rich history of resilience in the face of natural challenges, and I expect that we will rise to the challenge in facing any potential threats related to Hurricane Lee. As of the noonday forecast, Hurricane Lee is just southeast of us near the Leeward Islands in the Caribbean and has the potential to make its way towards our general area. I can assure the public that the Emergency Measures Organization and the Ministry of National Security are taking this storm very seriously. The EMO will be meeting on Monday to make the necessary preparations concerning Hurricane Lee and will issue updates as they become available. The Bermuda Weather Service has been closely monitoring its path, and based on their forecasts, we anticipate that Hurricane Lee will be making its approach near Bermuda sometime next week. Hurricane Lee is not to be taken lightly. It is a large and dangerous Category 5 hurricane, and we must prepare for the possibility of it affecting our island. Here are the latest updates regarding Hurricane Lee. The closest point of approach within the next 72 hours is expected to be on Monday, September 11th at 12 p.m., when the hurricane is expected to be located around 575 nautical miles to our south. Lee was moving west-northwest at 11 knots, with maximum winds of 135 knots, with gusts of up to 165 knots. We will be in a better place to advise about public services, including transportation, the airport, and the causeway next week as the forecast becomes clearer. This storm serves as a stark reminder that we are now in the midst of the most intense stage of our hurricane season, when Bermuda typically sees an increase in storms headed our way. Hurricane Lee is the 12th named storm of the 2023 hurricane season, and it is the third storm this season to affect Bermuda. Again, I want to reassure the public that the EMO is taking this storm very seriously and places the public's safety as its highest priority. Now, I want to emphasize this very critical point. While you may be accustomed to receiving weather information from various sources, whether it be online, from social media, on radio and television, the Bermuda Weather Service is the official weather authority for our island. The EMO will always make decisions based on their forecasts. It is imperative that the public be guided by the Bermuda Weather Service forecasts and advisories, which can be found on weather.bm. Let me reiterate, the unpredictability of storms is inherent to their nature. As we have witnessed over the years, their paths can change, intensities can fluctuate, and the impact on our island can be uncertain. This is precisely why we must not be complacent and must remain vigilant and prepared. Therefore, I urge you to take Hurricane Lee seriously. Be proactive in your preparations. Use this weekend to get ready. Replenish your stocks. Make sure you have the necessary provisions and ensure your storm kits are up to date. Make sure your homes are secured and your families have a clear plan in case Lee has a serious impact on Bermuda. Please, also, if necessary, trim back your trees on your property, especially those that obstruct motorists and pedestrians. We want to ensure that such vegetation does not hinder restoration efforts should a storm seriously impact our island. I urge our community to come together before the arrival of any storm to help one another prepare, and for neighbors across the island to check on each other, especially those who are vulnerable and who are in need of help. We should keep in mind that overhanging branches or trees on our neighbor's property could easily take down a power line connected to your home. Stay informed through weather advisories from the Bermuda Weather Service and updates from the EMO. Our strength as a community lies in our ability to come together in times of adversity. Let us remember the lessons from past storms and act responsibly. Let us look out for one another and support those who may need assistance, especially our vulnerable and our seniors. As I close, let me stress that we will continue to monitor Hurricane Lee closely and provide you with updates as the situation evolves. Again, our priority is the safety and well-being of every resident of Bermuda. Together, we can weather this storm and emerge stronger on the other side. Thank you, and may we all stay safe and prepared.
Thank you, Minister, very much for your presentation today. At this time, we're going to invite questions from the media, beginning with the Royal Gazette.
Yes, good afternoon. Owen Johnson-Barnes with the Royal Gazette. Can you say if Bermuda is prepared to handle something as significant as a Category 5 hurricane?
Well, good afternoon, Mr. Johnson. Bermuda has always had the resilience to address any hurricane that comes our way. So I am confident that as a community and a government, we will make sure that we are prepared to meet anything that we have to.
What about the island's infrastructure? Obviously, we all remember Hurricane Fabian and the damage that it had on the causeway. And we have several bridges that are in aging state. I'll word it that way.
Well, yes, you are, and you are correct. Our infrastructure is a steady work in progress. And as we stand now, we have the resilience to meet any adversity that we may encounter.
And timeline-wise, is there any idea as to when we might be able to sort of say for sure when the hurricane is going to hit, if the hurricane is going to hit, and what sort of damage we can expect? When are we going to know this?
On Monday, the EMO will be meeting, and after that meeting, the public will be updated.
And is the government and the island prepared for increasing numbers of hurricanes and increasingly strong hurricanes because of climate change?
Well, because of climate change, some feel that that's a reason for the increase in hurricanes. And as a community, as a government, we are prepared to meet the challenge as is presented to us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Owen. We have a question from Bermuda Broadcasting.
Hi, Minister Weeks. Cooper Stevenson, Bermuda Broadcasting. Just some housekeeping. What's going to happen with schools that are scheduled to open on Monday? Are you in contact with them? Have you started approaching that yet?
As it stands now, Mr. Stevenson, schools will be opening, but as I said, the EMO will be meeting on Monday, and any updates or any changes in our day-to-day life will be made then.
Back to the hurricane, is there more concern on the EMO and on your part due to the nature of the unpredictability to the hurricanes this season? They've been notably more unpredictable than in past years.
Well, no, the EMO are very much ready and able to respond to the unpredictability of hurricanes.
And we received a press release earlier today saying that residents will receive a friendly reminder, but in the cases where the threat of safe passage is apparent in regards to trees and obstructing power lines, Public Works will cut the offending trees at a cost to the owner of $1,000 per hour. I've never heard of that before. Is there legislation on the books that points to that? Is there a homeowner responsibility to keep their trees in order to prevent them running into power lines? Obviously, it is a concern, but I've just never heard of that before.
Well, actually, Mr. Stevens, I think that question would better be posed to the Ministry of Public Works.
Okay. Other than that, yes, that's it for me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bermuda Broadcasting, and that completes the questions. Thank you, Minister Weeks, very much for your briefing today, and that concludes today's media briefing.
Thank you.